shares with us the alchemy of awe. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend David. What a privilege it is to be here and to experience this amazing congregation and your love for Reverend David. I mean, it's the perfect marriage, isn't it? It's just so wonderful. We were very impressed by him when he served at our church as his first experience after ministerial school. He just kind of had that ministerial, whoops. Oh, it fell off my, excuse me one moment. There, that's better. He just kind of had that ministerial vibe, you know, he speaks like a minister, you know. He wasn't shy about it, so we're very grateful and so grateful to be here this morning. It's wonderful. And to, you know, I actually got tears listening to my husband, Reverend Andy. I hear him sing all the time, but it's different when you leave home and it's kind of a different experience. So, the alchemy of awe. When I heard that this was the topic for this morning, I was very pleased because I love that word awe. I love awe. And I was reminded, some good friends of ours, Attica Luckett and Lisa Ferraro, two wonderful, talented musicians, were at a Silomar several years ago, and they had T-shirts made up that was like their logo. Here's a wet child. They had T-shirts made up that said, if you're not in awe, you're not paying attention. If you're not in awe, you're not paying attention. Awe is wonder, it's delight. And in this teaching, we know that we don't have to look outside ourselves to find our good. I tell you, in my spiritual seeking, you know how you continue to uncover layers. You think you know something, and then you begin to know it on a deeper level. And in my spiritual work, I have come to know that more and more lately, that everything I need is right here. We're so quick to think, well, once I do this, once I take this class, once I lose a little weight, or then I'll be spiritual. But no, it's your happiness and your peace and your goodness is right where you are. All we have to do is open up to it. It is here now. And awe is like that. It reminds us of that. And the way that I get into awe most easily, there's two ways, probably many ways, but two I can think of right now. One is being in nature. You know, I just walked out in the meditation garden, or the garden on the way to the meditation center a few moments ago, and just you don't even have to be in the redwoods. You can just be in a garden to experience it. You don't have to. The reading talked about the majesty of the mountains and the huge waves at the beach, and that's a wonderful way to get into awe. But so is just looking at a leaf. The perfection of a leaf, a beautiful flower that appears in your garden or on your path. Nature is such a wonderful teacher, and if we open our eyes and look, the beauty is all around us. And another way that I become awestruck so easily is a baby, is looking into the face of a baby. You know, holding a newborn. We had the privilege to hold our 3 grandchildren shortly after they were born. And how can you not be in awe when you see the face of a baby that is new to this life experience? The potential that is there, the beauty and the miracle of that is so amazing. in order to be in awe, we must be awake. We must be awake. And we must become still, a little still and contemplative. It's very challenging to experience awe when we're texting and on our computer and driving, hopefully not at the same time, and talking to our friends and eating lunch and doing all the things that, I hear people so proud, I'm a multitasker, I can do 5 things at once. And that's great, but you kind of miss what's happening around you when you do that. And when you're in awe, that's the only thing you can do. You have to slow down and look with new eyes. Look at what's around you, and you will see the awe, because awe is oneness, isn't it? When we're in awe, we feel that oneness with the universal spirit. We feel that all is connected, that all is one. And alchemy is such a great word. Taking the metals that are worthless, tin, and the metals that don't have any value, and somehow having some magic formula that transforms it into gold, a precious metal that transforms and transmutes. And that's what awe does. Awe transforms our lives into a larger experience, an experience of the infinite. Awe lifts us up and allows us to see what is always there. It's a grace-filled moment. It's a moment filled with grace. And when we're in awe, the feeling that follows that, as sure as night follows day, is gratitude. Because when we're in awe, we're so grateful. We're grateful for the beauty around us, for the majesty of life, for a new life, for a leaf or a flower. We just become naturally grateful. And gratitude is a vibration that lifts us up. I've been in gratitude a lot lately. And it's not the gratitude. Sometimes when we're going through a challenge, you have to remind yourself to be grateful. I do. Like, oh, what am I grateful for today? But lately it's just been flowing in my life, and it feels so good to be grateful. To ride that wave of gratitude. I'm reminded of a story of our son Ben, who was he's been a great teacher for us. He's born an old soul, and he was probably 5 or 6 years old. And we were at a Thanksgiving dinner with a lot of people, and all the food was there, ready to eat. The turkey was carved, and we were going around the table saying what we're thankful for. And some people were kind of in a hurry, and, oh, I'm thankful for my family and friends, let's eat, And it got to Ben, and Ben said this. He stopped for a moment, and he said, this little skinny boy said, I'm thankful for my arms and my legs. And we all said, oh, so are we. We forgot to be grateful for that. We forgot that we have arms and legs. We have eyes, we have ears, all of the things that are the gifts that are always here. Sometimes it takes a child to remind us of the beauty and the wisdom that is right here where we are. Mark Nepo, I don't know if you know Mark Nepo, he's a wonderful author. And a book I just discovered was 7,000 Ways to Listen. Don't you love that title, 7,000 Ways to Listen? And he said this, the task now is to slow down enough and be present enough to enter each moment that calls. To enter each moment, we must slow down and be present. Our lives are so fast, so busy. I don't know about yours, but it seems like we get caught up in the busyness. And sometimes it's important to slow down and listen to the call of the universe, which is calling us all forth always. So what is the universe calling you to? The universe called Reverend David here. And he said yes. Yes. And you said yes to him and welcomed him with open arms. I see all the love in both directions. It's like the alchemy of a butterfly, of a caterpillar. The caterpillar that crawls on the ground and sees life through caterpillar eyes. But the caterpillar, scientists tell us that the caterpillars have imaginal cells in them. Imaginal butterfly cells when they're born, when they're but a caterpillar. They have those cells of already the potential of the butterfly. And at a certain point in their life, those cells are activated. They're turned on. And then the butterfly begins to make its cocoon, and in its cocoon, its body starts to break down. It would feel like death. It would be frightening I don't know if caterpillars get scared, but it would not be a pleasant experience. And then the imaginal cells take over, the transformation is made, and a butterfly is there. A beautiful gossamer butterfly. What a paradigm shift from seeing the world from a caterpillar's eyes to seeing it from the floating, flittering butterfly. I've been seeing a lot of butterflies lately, and they bring me into awe, seeing the beauty and the colors, and just such a gift. So a little story I like to tell is there was a man in ancient times who grew tired of his life. He was bored with the village that he lived in. He didn't like it anymore. He wanted change. And he and his wife weren't getting along, and he was bored with his wife. He said, I need a new experience here. His children, he was disgusted with his children because he felt that they weren't respectful and they weren't grateful for all he provided for. So he decided to leave. One day he turned and left and just walked. He walked and walked and walked for miles through the countryside until it grew late in the day, and there was a little hut for him to sleep in he found. So before he went to sleep, he took off his old dusty shoes and pointed them in the direction which he was going. So in the next morning when he woke up, he would be able to continue in that direction. Well, while he slept, a little sprite came along and turned the shoes the other way, back towards home. So he walked and walked and walked, and little did he know he walked back into his old village. But he saw it with new eyes. And he said, oh, what a quaint village. This village is beautiful. It's so well kept. It's so quaint. The animals are well cared for. There's flowers. What a beautiful village. And he walked a little further, and he saw his own home. And he said, look at that beautiful stone home. It's so quaint. It's so well kept. The flowers are blooming out front. Someone has really cared for this home. And then he watched as his wife came out of the house and started tending to the garden. And he said, oh my, what a beautiful woman. Look how grace-filled she is. Look how full of grace. And look at her tend lovingly to the plants. What a beautiful woman. And then his children ran out and greeted them, and he said, oh, these children are so much more respectful than my children were. They're so handsome and beautiful and full of life. So he went back into his old life and was happy for the rest of his days, thinking he had a new experience and it was all better. And it was because he changed the way he looked at it. It's like Wayne Dyer says, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change and transform. So we don't have to go away somewhere to experience awe. We just have to look with new eyes. Wake up and look with new eyes. You don't have to leave home to answer the call. Sometimes it helps, doesn't it? When we go away and come back, we see things with fresh eyes. You might need to take a little journey away and come back. But Andy and I listened to the call when we moved to Roseburg. We were ministers, staff ministers at the Fremont Church. Then it was the Church of Religious Science with Dr. J. Scott Neal was our teacher. And we wanted to do something more. We heard a call, but we didn't know what. We just said, well, we want to do more. We don't want to be a minister of a church. No. We just want to do something more. And then we let it go. And a couple months later, we heard about an opening in Roseburg, Oregon, where Dr. Marcia Pierce was retiring. And we had been, maybe 5 or 6 years before that, we had traveled up the I-5 corridor, went into Oregon, and camped. We camped on the Rogue River, and we actually camped on the North Umpqua River. And we loved it there. It was so beautiful. Remember, we had Karen Drucker on the radio. We're driving down that, looking at that beautiful river, and just feeling great. So we had such a wonderful time, and that was before we even heard a little rumbling of something more. So we said, we got to check this Roseburg Center for Spiritual Living out. We love that area. Let's go check it out. We'll never do it, but let's check it out. So we did. We came to Roseburg. We did our candidate talk, and they asked us, the first question they asked us in the back was, when can you move here? We're like, move here? What? What are you talking about? We're just checking it out. And I think I said, well, I don't know. This was August, maybe October. And so we fell in love with the congregation and the community in the town. And as we left the church that day, Andy and I looked at each other and went, oh my gosh, I think we're going to do this. And when you answer the call, it doesn't always make everybody else happy. Dr. J was not happy. Andy was the music minister. Would you want to lose Andy as your music minister? He was the choir director. I was serving there. And so my sister was upset, and our kids didn't understand. We had and we would falter and say, "Wow, we can't do this. We can't leave. You're not supposed to leave your kids. You're supposed to go move to your kids, and all these things." But we couldn't say no. That's when you know it's a calling, when it's something that you can't say no to. So once we really took the leap and said yes, within 2.5 weeks, we had sold our house and bought our house. And before we left, we sat by our beautiful little Lake Elizabeth in Fremont that we walked around hundreds of times when we lived there, and wrote a list of what we wanted in our new home. By the water, peaceful, outside in, a sanctuary. And we live in that sanctuary now, and we live on the North Umpqua River. So when you answer the call, it's not always easy, but it can open you up to seeing things in a new way. How is Spirit calling you forth? I want to ask that question again. It's a wonderful thing to contemplate. And it doesn't mean, as I said, you don't have to leave home to experience it. Sri Aurobindo said, "To seek delight is the fundamental impulse of life. To find, possess, and fulfill it is life's whole motive." What if the purpose of life was to be in awe, to experience delight? We delight the infinite when we appreciate the beauty that's around us, when we see every face that we see as the face of God, like the children, because we are all the face of God. Delight in the realization of your oneness with pure spirit. With pure spirit. So before I do the closing treatment, I'd like to have you join with me to do a prayer from the Navajo Way blessing ceremony. So would you please stand if you can? And repeat after me. You can do this with your eyes open or your eyes closed. In beauty I walk.
In beauty I walk.
With beauty before me I walk.
With beauty before me I walk.
With beauty behind me I walk.
With beauty behind me I walk.
With beauty above me I walk.
With beauty above me I walk.
With beauty below me I walk.
With beauty below me I walk.
With beauty all around me I walk.
With beauty all around me I walk.
With beauty within me I walk.
With beauty within me I walk.
It has become beauty again.
It has become beauty again.
You may be seated. When we are in awe, we see the beauty that is all around us in every face we meet. So join with me as we know the truth. As we know that there is one infinite power in this universe that is all powerful, all joyful, all freedom. It is who and what we are. The power that is creating out of itself always, creating, allowing the love to create through us in the universe. We are one with this infinite power, and as such, we open to its beauty in awe, in delight, in appreciation and gratitude. And this week, as we walk on this earth, we remember to slow down, to become still, and to see the beauty in every step. That beauty is below us, above us, around us, and within us, and within everyone. We remember the alchemy of awe, which changes the ordinary into the extraordinary, right where we are this moment. And then we flow naturally into gratitude. This awe brings us to a place of gratefulness that is incredible, that we open up to the gratitude of the beauty and the exquisite perfection of life. And from this grateful place, I release this. And I know that we have planted the seeds of awe, the seeds of grace, the seeds of gratitude, and they are now taking root and blossoming in our lives as we pluck out the negativity, as we water with our faith. Our garden of awe flourishes as a celebration of life. And please join me in saying, so it is.